Hey guys, my name is Chelsea Guerrero, and I've helped a lot of people be able to transform their life through trading. A lot of people online know me today as someone who's really able to live their life to the fullest, having the freedom to do so. Being able to do what I want when I want. I really like most of my days really consist of me going to the gym. Sometimes I'll find myself at the mall. I do a lot of self-care because I do feel like that's important to really take care of yourself, including your health, your body, your mind. I love spending money, of course. Like I said, going to the mall. I love hiking, going out in nature. I love reading. But yeah, I think just being able to have that freedom to travel wherever you want, when you want, do whatever you want. Buy whatever you want. I think ultimately, like, that's the goal. It's super, super rewarding to see students like me be able to really transform their life through trading. She was literally blowing small demo accounts to now being profitable and consistent literally within just a few months of working with me. And we also have Jennifer who was able to pass her first futures challenge and receive a payout. That's just amazing. Being able to pass a prop firm can really help you 10x your goals, right? Especially with limited capital nowadays. And we also have Kenneth. Kenneth was able to use what he's learned from me to achieve his first 1K payout and also passing his challenge. My goal is to really help traders become profitable and become confident, to help them get to that point where they're able to really execute trades with confidence and not having to second guess themselves. And so that's what I want for everyone. That's what I want for you. I also believe that everyone has their own story. And so let me share mine. So back in 2014, I was actually a part time business student in Hawaii. And I was also working at Chuck E. Cheese, really just to make ends meet. I had just graduated high school. I didn't really know what to do in life. I knew that I wanted to do something with business. I just honestly didn't know what. It's like from a young age, I always envisioned myself doing something with that or along the lines of being an entrepreneur, but I didn't know how to do that. When you graduate high school, you're told that you need to go to college, get a degree, and all this stuff. And ultimately, I did that to make my parents happy and for the sole fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So it was kind of like, okay, let's just go to college and figure it out, which I feel like most people do that. And then fast forward to 2018, it was a very, very big year of change for me. My grandma had passed away that Christmas prior in 2017. So I was starting off the new year with my grandma not with us anymore. And my mom also lost her job. That also caused a lot of financial stress on my parents' relationship. So that ultimately caused my parents to separate. So that was going on. And I had recently gone through a breakup as well. So that was a really tough year for me, guys. Like losing someone that you love and seeing your family ultimately fall apart at the same time you're going through a heartbreak. Like, I mean, even just talking about it makes me like really sad. It's just because like when I look back on it, it's like I actually like I went through all of that, and not only that, I also had to use my savings to help save the house because of the financial stress that my mom went through losing her job. We were told that we were going to lose our home if we weren't able to catch up on mortgage payments. And I did what I had to do, even though it cost me finishing college. I had to use that money to ultimately save the house. I actually decided to stay in Hawaii to help my dad raise my 10-year-old brother. My sister had moved out of state right after she graduated high school. And so I didn't want my little brother to feel like he was alone. And I felt like I had to step up. I had to be the one that was strong for everybody in my family because my dad and my mom were really going through it. So it was a lot on me, almost being a mother to my brother and at the same time working shit jobs, not making enough, and really thinking to myself like this really can't be my life. Like there's no way in hell this is going to be my life. But I did have moments of doubt creep up on me and really thinking like is this really what it's going to be like. But I was new and I had strong faith growing up. I was raised on strong values and having faith and being grounded growing up. So I know that a time, this was just a rough patch in my life, right? Life is a big journey that we all need to figure out as individuals. And so for me, I think it was just something that I knew was going to be temporary and I was eventually going to get through. I think going through big things like that in your life really set you on two different paths. And it was either I could let it ruin me or I could let it make me. And I chose to let it make me, you know? And I'm going to be honest, like when I found trading, and I found trading through an MLM. I feel like a lot of people can relate with that. There was, an MLM back in the day around 2018 where I found out about it. I got involved. And then I realized, I didn't learn much from it. And so I went and did my own research, seeking out if there was anyone who is, teaching at the time. And there wasn't a lot of courses back then. There wasn't a lot of mentorships back then. And so I eventually found somebody. I scraped enough money to actually get the course. And that's really when my real trading journey began. For the next 2 years, I'll be honest, I was really just grinding. I was still working a shit job. Obviously, I was working at Chuck E. Cheese, but I also tried a whole bunch of different retail jobs. After 1 to 2 years, I was so bored and I felt like I needed to, find something new. And I was also trying to find who I was at the time, being so young, just figuring out what I like and, what my interests were. So I was just open to trying so many different things, which is why I think when trading came in the picture through an MLM, it wasn't, I'm still grateful for that because that exposed me to the trading industry. And the trading journey was rough. Your first year or two as a trader, it's super tough and just draining, right? Because all of your time and effort and energy and money is going into learning this skill set. In 2021, I was literally I was blowing accounts, right? Like I was blowing $50 here, $300 there, and it was money that I really needed, especially from my job, being that I was working retail jobs and they were only giving minimum wage. I was not making a lot. I was barely going out with friends as well because I wanted to save money for me to be able to put into like a live account, try to trade it, grow it, and I blew it every single time. So that was super discouraging. But then something changed by late 2021. I actually started to see consistent profits. And it wasn't much. It would range from $100 to $200 a month, but it was something. And I recognized that moment of even just making that much, even though I wanted to replace my entire income, I was still grateful for that because that took care of the smaller bills that I had. So I got super smart with it. So by 2022, I was able to start off with smaller bills and I was able to kind of replace it as time went on. So I started with my minimum credit card payments, which, aren't a lot, right? Minimum credit card payments typically range from $20 to $30. And for me, that was attainable with what I was seeing at that time from $100 to $200 a month. So I would start with my minimum payments for my credit cards and I would keep rinsing and repeating that process until I was able to start covering like my car payments, my car insurance. And then by mid 2022, I was consistently covering all of my bills, which was so crazy to me. And I stayed disciplined that entire process. When I started off small, making that $100 to $200 a month and only striving for minimum payments on my credit cards, I would tell myself, even though I made this much and it covered my credit cards, I would stop trading for the whole month. Like I would be disciplined in that even though it was a little, it's because I knew over time I would be able to scale that. And if I can put in the discipline now, then I would be able to see better results and taking care of bigger bills as time went on. So 2022 was a really good year trading wise for me because of that, right? But the real game changer for me personally was 2023. I actually had the opportunity to trade for a hedge fund. I was one of three that was selected to join a hedge fund, and I was managing over $1 million in funds, as well as hitting anywhere from 2 to 5% returns monthly. So that was the real game changer for me and how I was able to really scale and get that capital that I really needed because ultimately Once you build that skill set, the next thing that you need is capital. But if you can grow $50, you can grow like such a small account. You can start with just making $50 a day, $20 a day, it does not matter. I knew that once I built that discipline, building up from such a small amount, I knew that I could grow a larger amount if I had that capital. And when I was given that opportunity, I went for it. I was super scared, of course. There was an extensive process with being able to be selected to trade for the hedge, but I just went for it. And, you know, I stayed disciplined in what I've been doing for years, and it was well worth it. That was what really changed the game for me. And my life nowadays, it just looks completely different. Now I can really just spend, like I said, doing what I do day to day. I can travel whenever I want. I'm making travel plans outside the country. And it's amazing, guys. Like, I really want everyone to be able to get to this point and know that the journey is just worth it. Honestly, it really is worth it if you put your time and your effort into learning this. And sometimes I really look back on it like, I can't believe this is my life now. And it's crazy because I'm telling you all this, guys, not to brag or anything, but my life was so different just a few years ago. And it's crazy to me how much your life can change literally within 6 months to a year. As long as you're putting in the work, as long as you're staying on top of what you need to, you can truly achieve anything. So just know that if I can do it, it's possible for me. It's 1,000% possible for you. And guys, the only difference between then and now is truly the skills that I've built. And it's the exact skills that I want to share with you.